After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 367. Today is Saturday, August 10th, 2019, as we are recording. I am Marlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
We want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you are new, we're glad that you found us, and we hope that you find something you like and that you will stay. And if you are returning, we're always glad to see you. If you are in the shadows, please feel free to join us officially, our YouTube channel. You can subscribe there and touch the little bell, and you can get notifications of the podcast. And if you want to go a little further and be able to join us for the alongs and things, you can join us on our little forum. It's called it's PHN. It's just called PHN, right?
Yeah, but
Pen, Hook, and Needles. Mm-hmm. But the way to get there is phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's phnpodcast, all one word, .freeforums, one word, .net. Okay? And that's where all the alongs happen, and chatter and support and all that kind of thing. Okay?
Did we introduce ourselves?
Yes, but I don't know if you did.
I'm
Marlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
For those of us with memory issues, and I am Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
Okay. We're not drinking anything too exciting today. We had to make a run to the local vampire bank for Talia today and do something there, so I had my tea
22
late.
tubes.
Yes, we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
So we're having water because I just had my tea and we didn't feel like being any later than we already are.
Sides, spoons.
Yes. Okay, now, I want to plug our charities as we always do. And I want to mention a disclaimer here. When we talk about these charities, we always gratefully accept your donations. We in no way, shape, or form expect anything.
Yeah.
We're always grateful for what you have, but we're not saying you're obligated in any way. Okay? Evans Home is a place where they give knitted items, knitted, crocheted, and sewn. Is that right? Or is it?
They take any of that.
They take all that kind of stuff, and I'm sure that Laura... that's Gracie's mom, 62, who's our contact person. She's in our local yarn shop, Knitter's Magic in Winchester. She's our contact person there. So if I'm wrong, Laura, you can tell me. Mm-hmm. But anyway, they accept babies through adult stuff, okay? Mm-hmm. Hats and scarves and blankets and all kinds of stuff, okay? The other charity that we really have involvement in is the Pregnancy Center over here, the Front Royal Pregnancy Center. And that's mostly baby stuff. Hats and blankets and booties and things like that, sweaters, that kind of stuff. Although occasionally they do accept like toddlers and older people as well.
But not older than kids.
Not older than kids usually. Yeah. So if we think that they don't need it, we'll send it on to Evans Home. And then one that we're not as involved with, but we do like to plug, is Comforting Crafts, which is Brittany, who's B-Wing, and she collects almost dishcloths, hats, scarves,
her
whatever.
Facebook group will keep you apprised as to what she's collecting.
Right, at the time. Yeah. And she's done that for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, 5 years, something like that. She's done it for a long time. I think she even had a write-up in the paper at one time, in her local paper. So that's pretty amazing for what she's doing, okay? Now, other groups, the alongs and things that are happening. The Yarn and I Cappy podcast and group is doing the I Love Mickey Cal Lao, and that goes through November 18th. And the detailed information is in her group, okay? If you're not on Ravelry, Cappy is a member of our group. If you tag her, she should be able to see it if she gets her email and answer your questions, okay? It's a lot of fun. Anything that's tea and tail related that would fit in there, you can put in our tea and tails if it's tea and tail related. Okay, and
And
if you use
usually
the right,
it's Mickey, Mickey, a lot of the Disney things
anything that's Disney generally
has some sort
Yeah.
of,
unless it's the theme park or something.
yeah.
But you know how to make that work. And if it's something that you're doing that is theme park related, but it's in the colors for cardiac dysautonomia, that can also be double dipped.
Yeah.
So there are ways. Just be creative about it. And why do I think there's another along? Oh, tortoise versus hare.
How did you forget about that?
Because I'm tired. Tortoise versus hare. We'll get into that later. That's not our baby, but it is something we're doing, and we're excited to be doing that again this year. In fact, we're going right into that. Well, in a minute. First, Crocheting Hoovian Group. She's doing something first called the Creature Feature Cal Cal Lal, and that's with Doc Flower Woman, who's the Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal podcast. And that's a year long, and it's in the third quarter, and I think I want to say it's wild animals, but I'm not sure. You can go in either group and find out what it is. And I think it's basically amigurumi of it there. Now, the tortoise versus hare, which is Laura's baby, is not only amigurumi. If you can make it tortoise or hare, then it will be acceptable in the along. Knit, loom knit, or crocheted for us. I'm not sure if Laura's accepting other things as well, but it doesn't have to be an amigurumi. It can be anything that you can get related to tortoise versus hare. And in our group, I think in Laura's as well, but in our group, any Franciscan Gypsy design and any Lady Fernicle Creation yarn that could be related to tea and or tail gets 2 chances for a prize for the FO. In our group, if you have the featured yarn and the featured pattern, that also will be eligible for multiple chances, 3 chances at a prize. And Laura, I believe, I don't know if her pattern's out yet. It was supposed to come out August 1st, but she's had a lot going on. So that pattern is also a featured pattern. And if you use her featured yarn, her yarn is featured if it could be related to tea and or tails. I have her sea turtle colorway, so that will be eligible if I finish something in it for multiple chances at a prize. And we're very grateful to be doing that. She also has the Whip It Good, which is, taking out those whips and finishing them. I have a few that I need to put in her Facebook group. I just haven't gotten around to taking pictures. And Laura has, like we said before, has been absolutely phenomenal in terms of making it possible for those of us who have been members of her group and are no longer on the one venue, but are only in our group or just not on anybody.
Yeah.
If you're on Facebook or if you're not on anything, there's an email link and there's a Facebook way to
Right,
post
and
it.
we have all that in our...
It's in the thread? Okay. All right, now, Comforting Crafts is B-Wing, and she's doing several things. 2019, What Are You Reading? 19 hats in 2019, 52 dishcloths in 2019, and colorwork. I wish I had more things done in colorwork. I have a lot of things started, but nothing to put in there yet. And then the Bee's Knees group is Vani, and that's only on Ravelry. She's 19 in 2019, and that's just 19, whatever it is. Okay, and you can check, if you're on Ravelry, you can check that group and see if she has any specifics in there. And Vani's patterns, she made up a few years back some, I think they're coasters, /hot pads, tortoise, and a hare. And those are eligible for multiple chances at a prize in our group for the tortoise versus hare. Okay, that is a featured pattern. I forgot to say that. Let me get a little bit of a drink here before we go into tea and tails. Okay, now the tea and tails is a year-long Cal Lao, and we have a lovely co-host. That's Cappy from the Yarn and I Cappy podcast and the Yarn and I Etsy store, and she's a wonderful co-host. We love her dearly, and she has given us coupon codes which are in the group for her shawl kit that she developed specifically for Tea and Tails and for our group. And she also gave us a coupon code just for whatever's in her shop. It's in our group. You can find it there on her dedicated thread. She's very, very generous. I'm going to read these rules here, and then I'll just do the different things that are different when we get to the other alongs. Okay, so this one's January 1st through December 31st. They must be knit, loom knit, or crocheted. WIPs are allowed, previous WIPs, but they have to be worked on during the time and must reflect the theme. Chatter and pictures are all on the same thread, and the projects must be tied in some way, shape, or form to tea and or tales. And we're talking about fiction, books, novelizations, graphic novels, children's books that tell a whole story, that kind of thing, okay? If you're concerned about whether or not it is a tale, you can look on Amazon or Goodreads and they should tell you if it's fiction, okay? And you can ask us as well, but it's probably more accurate to go to Amazon. And if we question you about it, you can say, I went to Amazon or I went to Goodreads. And, okay, fine. Unless we know for sure, like it's, you know, the Diary of Anne Frank or something, you know.
Right.
Okay, now, we do have prizes. We showed all the prizes for things last week, so I'm not going to go over them. But we do have featured patterns and featured...
Actually, we didn't. We weren't able to find all the prizes last week, I thought. Maybe we did.
We did some of them.
Or did we? I can't remember.
We did some of them. I didn't have the tortoise versus hare.
That's what it was.
And we do... I found some tortoise versus hare prizes, so we do have
there was
those.
some cleaning out that occurred.
Yeah, there was cleaning out, and then we had all kinds of things going on, and I wanted to
What
make...
I'm saying is that that's how you found
Right,
some of the stuff,
right.
as things were moved.
Yeah, and I've made some effort to label again. I used to do that all the time, and then things got really hectic. But I've labeled, and I just need to make sure of the tortoise versus hare. And I have the things I want to give for prizes up there. I just want to make sure that, and up there, I mean behind you all as we're looking at you in my shelf of yarn, are a couple skeins of yarn that I want to give away for that. As always, any Franciscan Gypsy Designs FOs that can be related to Tea and Tails, any Lady Furnicle Creations yarn that can be related to Tea and or Tails, Cappy's shawl and her yarn, okay, separately or together, are featured, as are any Joanna Johnson patterns that can be related to Tea and or Tails. Mom Cook patterns, that's loom knit, that can be related to Tea and or Tails. Crocheting Hoovian patterns that can be related to Tea and or Tails, and her yarn that can be related to Tea and or Tails, and then Studio Bond Design patterns that can be related to Tea and or Tails. These are all, and these are all on the thread, so you'll know. They are all eligible for double chance at a prize for the FO if a featured yarn, mine or Cappy's or Laura's, is united with Taya's patterns, my pattern. I forgot to mention my pattern. That's also a featured pattern. My pattern, Taya's patterns, any of those other patterns that are featured and finished, those things are eligible for 3 chances at a prize. As always, you are expected to do your own multiple posting for that, because unfortunately we don't have the time to do that anymore. Okay. Let's see here. Moving on to cardiac dysautonomia. Okay, the only reason I mentioned the start and finish date is because this one is a 3-month thing. It goes July 1st to September 30th, so we're in the second month, 2/3 of the way through. And WIPs and FOs. Okay, I already said I wasn't gonna say that over again. The tag for this is hashtag PHNCDA 2019 on Instagram, and they cannot be finished prior to July 1st. Okay. They can be WIPs, but they cannot be finished prior to July 1st. If you finished it on June 30th, it's not eligible. Okay, you do not have to finish the project to have it eligible. As always, we do accept WIPs. All right, they have to be some shade of red or pink, or shades of blues or teals to be eligible for prizes. Okay, and I know teals can be a little dicey. Some are more green than blue. If it says teal, if you think it's teal, you can ask us, we can look at it, but for the most part, I can't talk this morning. For the most part, if you say it's that color and it looks anything like it, we're going to go with it, because monitors are different, we can't tell. All right?
And something like a teal is a really hard color anyway.
I'm sorry?
And something like a teal is a really hard color
Yeah, teals and turquoises and things like that are really hard. Okay. If you use any Lady Furnicle Creations yarn in the proper colors with a featured pattern, in an FO, it's eligible for 3 chances at a prize, and the featured things, as I said, as always, 2 chances at a prize. We already went through basically tortoise versus hare, okay? So I'm not going to go through that again. We were asked to co-host by Laura. We always are excited to do this with her, And the other co-host is B-Wing, who is Comforting Crafts podcast group. She's B-Wing, that's Brittany. And we always have fun when we do that with them, okay? And this goes July 1st to September 30th. And I am not going to go through this, except for our Instagram hashtag is hashtag PHNCW Tortoise versus Hare 2019 for our group. I think Laura's is just CW Tortoise versus Hare 2019. Franciscan Gypsies Designs patterns are on Lovecrafts, as are Laura's, along with Etsy and Ravelry for Laura. But Talia's are only available on Lovecrafts.
Yeah.
My yarn is available on Etsy. Okay? All
And
right.
you do not yet have your pattern up.
My pattern is not yet up. Right now it's on hiatus until I can get it up. I want to finish the fingering weight one. I can't. If anybody did a fingering weight test, a fingering weight sock
I
test,
feel like someone did.
I think somebody did. If you did a fingering weight sock, could I ask you, impose on you, please, either send me a message on our private message on PHN, or if send me an email. If you don't know my email address, get in touch with me and we'll figure out a way for me to get it to you with the dimensions and how much yarn you used. So I had the DK weight, but I know some of you did worsted, some of you did fingering. If you did that, if you would send me the dimensions, if you did not do the weight of yarn that I used, if you could send me the dimensions, then I can put it up so that people can see how much yarn they used. You know, if you tell me how much yarn you used and what the dimensions of the finished object were, then I can put that up. So, and I can get it up there quicker. But, you know, if you have the chance, okay? I appreciate that. I'll get you the price later. Okay, we're looking into, did you want to say anything for a cardiac dysautonomia? Do you want to wait till
We
you
should
do?
probably wait till the end because it's going to be a very long thing. And there's some people who might not want to hear all that.
I apologize. I'm a little dry today. Okay, we're going to head into the rough drafts, which I think I have 8. So
I have 5.
okay. I don't know how I got 8 this time, but there you go.
Okay.
All right, this one you haven't seen in a while. This is in my. Oh, I love this. I think Sandy made this for me.
I think you're right.
I don't have it written down. Why don't I? Yes, I do. Stitched by Mimi Teacups bag. I love this. And that's Sandy. And this is my bonfire shawl, which is from the Sock Knitter Shawl by K.F. Jones. I didn't realize how close I am to finishing this. I think I have 4 rows to do plus the edging. So I did a couple rows. I did a row yesterday while we were in the waiting room waiting for Talia. And I did another row earlier in the week. So let me see here. This way. So you can see, yeah, that's the right side. Isn't that pretty? So I'm looking forward to finishing this. I'm going to try to do at least a row a day so I can have this done for my religious retreat in September, the end of September. I really want this for that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to put some effort into doing that. So I have this color. This is Miss Babs in the Reishi colorway. And this is also Miss Babs. This is going to be for the edging. I think this is Vlad's. So I'm going to have quite a bit left of these skeins because this is the second skein I'm using of the Reishi, and I didn't want to make it too much bigger than it already is. Besides, I want to have it for September, and I'm doing the number of rows she said to do. So I could make it bigger if I wanted to, but I don't really want to at this point. I want to get it done.
Right.
So that's that. And see, my next one, I didn't think I was going to get a chance to work on this. I did this one, I think I did a round or two at the waiting room yesterday. This is my Mama C bag, Words bag. That's Christina.
That's
Love
probably
this bag.
why you got so much done is because you made it late.
Yeah, I only brought 4 projects. Well, I brought 4 projects, but I didn't start the one because it kept messing up for whatever reasons. This is my Lady Caprice from the Terra the Sea Turtle pattern by Talia, and this I'm using Marigold Gem worsted in the Tangerine Speedo, which is this. I haven't gotten to it yet, and Dragonfly Fibers in Villainous, and then this is Cappy's Lady Furnico. So I only did about a round or two of this. But I think I'm decreasing already on the bottom here. Catching up with my
Yeah,
bitty.
that's like
So I like the way this is working. I was talking to my husband in the waiting room or on the way home or something. And I said, yeah. He said, is that another turtle? I said, yeah. I said, I'm going to finally get rid of the ugly dog and the platypus, put him downstairs, but you're going to be overrun by turtles. He just kind of rolled his eyes and laughed. So it's just,
he's been trying to get rid of ugly dog almost since you made it.
yeah. So that's this. And I do like working this. It's a fun project. I'm just happy to be able to work on different projects and get something to show you guys.
Have they ever? It's been a while since they've seen Ugly Dog on the podcast. I feel like we showed him fairly recently.
We did show him fairly recently. I think we even showed your ugly dog, because yours was even worse than mine, with its multiple...
But I think that yours was not sewn as well as mine.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because yours wasn't even the color. It just ended up like weirdly floppy.
I think what happened is that I didn't know how to stuff and sew, because it was one of my first.
it
was one of
was
my
one of
first
the first.
projects.
I'm just charting my fluid intake. There we go. Alright, so I guess it's my turn.
Yes, it is.
There we go. Sorry, I had to put in fluid intake. Alright. So the first one is actually the one I'm working on currently. It's barely worked on. This is, the pattern is Bo the Lapland Bunny by Mary Jane's Tea Room. And, my bunny's name is Han. No, Han. Not Hans. Han. And last time you'd already seen that he has his body with his belly.
Feels very no belly.
He probably won't sit very well, but
Well, his arms might allow
I'm
him
hoping
to-
the arms will help
yeah.
too. I think I overstuffed his legs a little bit, but it's got his little stockings, his
So cute.
shoes. So that part's done. And working on his ear. I don't know what I did here. His ear's curving. It's not supposed to curve.
You might have to tink back a little.
It's okay. I'm fine. He'll have one curvy ear.
It'll make him unique.
Exactly. So I'm now decreasing like I'm supposed to. I'm not sure if I add an extra row. I kept losing count of my row.
Mm.
So I think I maybe changed something that I shouldn't have. But he's going to have one ear that's going to curve a little bit. And that's okay. I'm fine with that. So.
Very nice.
And everything in this pattern is knit flat.
Yeah, I have her. I'm finding out, being on Lovecraft, there's a lot more British designers that come up more quickly than on Ravelry, and so I'm finding that a lot of them knit flat. So I'm looking at knitting toys because they're knit flat. Their sweaters, some of them are knit flat. So it's something I'm willing to try as a transition until I get, comfortable with my hands being able to maybe magic loop or something.
Right.
Okay, so my next one is in my Ploverbird Mickey Mouse bag, and this is my Colorful Birds wrap from the Show Off Boomerang pattern by April Klitsch, and the yarn is Tess Designer yarn, superwash merino worsted, and this is a big skein. It's like 500 some odd yards, so this is going to be a while. This is just this, even for the Christmas table, it won't be this year. It'll be next year maybe, if I finish it by then. But it's pretty. I can start to see the boomerang now, and it's a Barbie boomerang shawl, but it's really cute. I like the way the colors are pooling. I know Kay doesn't like pooling. I like the pooling. It's I don't know, makes me happy. So not quite my colors, but
But it doesn't mean it's not fun to work with.
it is fun to work with. And of course, I'm using my ChiaoGoo. I'm using ChiaoGoo red lace. I think I'm using. Let me see here. I lost my place.
You actually write down what needles?
Yeah, US 9s.
I never write down what
I need
needles.
to know where my needles are. There we go. Okay. Do I have to do one more?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's the last time though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. Let me see here. My next one is in my Knitter's Magic purple flowers on a black field, dark field bag. This is my Welcome Little One project from the On the Porch blanket by 5410 Studio, and I only did maybe 1 or 2 rows on this. So it looks exactly the same, but I did work on it. So you're getting to see it. See, and this is the longest 5 inches I have ever done. Well, no, I'm sorry. Handbrake had a lot. I think the handbrake had it beat with the 2 inches that never got done. But this just seems to be taking forever to get to the point where I start having a pattern. But that's okay. This is not.
That means it's mindless knitting.
It's not. Yeah, I'm not in any hurry. So, it's
Mindless knitting is not a bad thing.
no. And I'm using Lady Furnicle Creations Bare Necessities for this, which is essentially an undyed yarn. Okay.
Okay, and because I didn't remember to say, oh, did I leave his body down there? Okay. That's really kind of disturbing. A headless body just sort of there. So, one thing I did forget to say about this is that I am using Knit Pro Zing, and it's US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter. And this is interchangeable because the interchangeables are the ones that have the different color cables for each size. But let me put that down a sec.
I'm not a big fan of interchangeables. I have them. I just don't use them.
Well, they have their uses. But okay, so my next project is in my Silver Shed USA.
And this got hair in his eyes.
Maybe he's being fashionable.
He's always fashionable. Yes, we have all our animals back in the woman cave.
Yes, we did. They're neater for now.
For now.
Don't anticipate it'll stay that way.
No, not with Taya, though. She's all fall over her.
It makes me think there's this member of the Legion of Superheroes who's called Arm Fall Off Boy.
You've got to be joking.
No, he can pull off either of his limbs, any of his limbs, but he usually pulls off the arm and then beats people with it.
That's really disturbing.
In my EDS group, they're like, hey, it's our mascot.
That's just really disturbing. People can take off their arms in
No,
EDS.
but they
I would think more like Stretchy Man or somebody. That's really weird.
They pop out a joint, though.
That's just disgusting. It makes me think of Marrow or somebody who just kind of shoots
Throws
bones
her
on
bone,
people.
yeah.
Ugh, that's just gross.
Well, it's better than the one X-Men who has the 2 maggots that are his intestines.
Okay, I don't need to hear this. That's just gross.
His name is Maggots.
Oh, gee, well, that's real creative.
Well, it is the X-Men. They had some really weird ones.
Yeah.
As if it's the fact that Morrow is one of them.
Yes.
It's like you have the
Well, they didn't like her. The people didn't like her much.
Morrow was the X-Men have weird ones, and so did the Legend. Wait, what did I say?
Legion of Superheroes.
Legion of Superheroes, because they also have Matter Eater Lad. And
Yeah. Oh, are you talking about? No, you're talking about. Yeah, not the League of Superheroes, the Legion, the one that Vina used to like.
Yeah.
With Bouncy Boy and Saturn Girl and all
Superman
that.
was supposed to be a part of them when he was a kid.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah, and in fact, Brainiac 5 was part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But not just Brainiac.
No, Brainiac 5. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, in my Silver Shed USA nursing caps on a pale field bag, this is sorry, my punch bag fell and I made a whiny noise. I just wanted to find the pattern name for you and the designer. Okay, this is Knittables Bunny. The designer is Shockingly Knittables. Her name is Knittables is her, I guess her handle, but her name is Sarah Gasson. Gasson, Gasson. I don't know if she's on Ravelry. I found her on Lovecrafts, and it's the under Knit a Teddy. That's like the collection or whatever. But you can buy the patterns individually. And
It's really cute.
there's what it's...
I'm actually interested in the Teddy.
bunny will look like. And these are designed with charity in mind. I pulled from Stash and from Mom's Stash some acrylic. From Mom's Stash is random white. I think it's probably Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, probably. I don't have any Red Heart anymore, I don't think.
And then the black. And I did regret when I had cast it on initially, when I was in the early stages, I regretted my choice of black.
If I do something like that, I'm going to do it with pink or something.
And I'll probably do some more fun colors later. At that point, I didn't have much acrylic easily available to me.
Well, Davina always has a ton.
Yeah. But I don't like the way some of her acrylic feels in my hands.
Yeah. Well, she has a lot of Red Heart.
Yeah.
She's getting more Hobby Lobby, but she
Yeah.
has a lot of Red Heart.
So this is Lion Brand Heartland. And the colorway is, I think it was like Black Canyon. There it is. Yeah.
The good thing about that particular yarn is you get a little fuzz without having a whole bunch of issues.
Right. It looks like wool, but it isn't.
It's got a little bit of a halo, I guess is what it's called.
So Bunny is building.
And a spinner can correct us if we have the wrong term.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
my
it's a
eyes are
very
itchy.
black and white bunny.
No grays?
No grays.
No shades of gray?
So I'll probably give, I call her Augusta, and I'll probably give her blue eyes. Because it's stitched on eyes. So that way her eyes will stand out against the black.
Yeah, blue or green would go well.
Um,
Just not yellow. Make her look like Zombie Bunny or something. Or Cat Bunny. Okay.
that's all.
How many do you have left?
3.
I have 1, 2, 3. Okay, I have 4, so that's good. Alright. My next one is in... I'm not actually sure I worked in this. I felt like I worked in it and didn't mark it. So, in my Valeria bag is my Bells for Baby project from the Cerebel Scarf pattern by Sarah Sweetheart. This is the blanket I'm doing off that pattern. I know I worked on this. I just must have not... I think I had the computer off when I was working on it. I didn't
Right.
put it on. So you can see I stopped here in the edge here. So it's moving along. I really do like this pattern. When my hands cooperate, this is my go-to pattern for things like scarves and baby blankets and things because it looks so pretty.
It does.
My husband was worried about the little holes, but
A lot of baby blankets have holes.
a lot of them do, and I think it'll be okay. So the yarn is just not particularly the softest. It's a huge skein of Caron 1 pound, and it's all acrylic. And the yardage is like, let me see here, 16 ounces. I'm trying to find the yardage. It's like, if I remember correctly, it's like 1,000 yards.
Wow.
I can't see. 453.6 grams. I know it had yardage somewhere. Anyway, it's a pink called Soft Pink.
Very, very,
Very, yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I know
Creative.
it said somewhere what the actual yardage is, and I can't find it. It's 16 ounces. So I think it's about 1,000 yards, but I could be mistaken. If I can fit this in here. Your turn.
Okay, let me finish mine. There we go. Okay, so.
I might have to start another another scarf with that.
Another turbo. Looks, my ear's definitely gonna be. I have no idea what I did there. He's just gonna have a fun one ear that's gonna be bendy. That's all.
I have on the little bunny that I put aside.
Uh-huh.
One of his ears is a little different too.
And it sometimes happens with Bunny, and it just gives him a little bit of a. Han just has a
Well, you're not giving away or anything, so
twisty bunny ear.
yeah.
And then his other ear will probably be just fine and perfect.
And no one will bring it to his attention because that would be rude.
Exactly. But I think I must have messed up my patterning somewhere because I kept getting distracted. So in my this is not Silver Shirt USA. In my Molly Klein design Bunny's bag
That's from Laura.
from Laura Concert. is the infamous TNG Slipstitch Studios DPN holder that always gives birth to this random TNG tangent.
You don't need to know who's on there again.
No, they don't. So, this is Yarn Bee Sweet Minis. The colorway is Hello Hummingbird. So it came with a purple, this bright pink you see here, and then this kind of tealy color.
One of those colors that's, yes, acceptable for teal.
Yes, because it's like, is that green? Is that blue? What is it? This is another one of the, let's see, it is called the Baby Rabbit Beanie. And I always misplace the designer's name. Oh, it's Cedric Yeager. So, and it's going to be another bright one, but I think the contrast will be fine.
Yep.
With
Won't
all
lose
of
that baby either.
No. You know, that's
Definitely a little girl.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a little girl hat.
But you did a little boy one, so.
Yeah, exactly. So there we go. It's happy and happy and happy.
Okay. All right, let's see here. This is another one that I wanted to make sure I worked on. It's getting to the point where I'm ready to start the next piece, maybe. So this is in my Plover Bird. Yes, this is my Plover Bird tea time bag, and this is sweater size. And I'm working on Dazzle the Zebra, and this is Lady Fernico Creations in the if it's not a horse, it might be a zebra, and Bare Necessities. And I'm almost to the point where I can start the next section. So this is where I'm at for this. And this comes from Lucky the Horse pattern by Little Muggles. She has the cutest patterns. I believe she's on Etsy. I found out I got this particular pattern on Craftsy Blueprint. So
Is that the head or is that the muzzle?
this is the head.
Okay. Well, because I wasn't sure how big
Yeah.
it is.
I'm pretty sure this is the head. Because she didn't label the piece. Of course, if I had done it the way she intended me to, then I would know, because this is supposed to be a horse, not a zebra, a pony. So there's a place where there's white.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a white,
Yeah.
I forget what they call it, a patch or whatever it is on the
Right.
face. And so, or blaze or whatever it's called. And
I think you're right,
this one
blaze.
doesn't have that because it's a zebra.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. That's how it's looking. I'm happy with it. I like the contrast in the colors.
Mhm.
There's a little bit of a jag for the back here, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Can't really be helped. As long as I have the colors even, that's all I care about.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And I think I'm getting ready to change colors, which is why I haven't. I had the two loops on here because I'm getting ready to change the colors. So back to blue. I didn't have means to do it at that point because I have to cut the yarn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so in my Silver Shed USA Tortoise versus Hare. Oh, this one doesn't have a year inside of it.
An ear?
A year.
Oh, a year.
One of them has a year inside of it.
A 2017.
Yeah, but this one's not 2017.
And that's a 2016, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you might be right. And this has the little Birtle on it.
By Lara Smoot.
Yep. And another Slipstitch Studios DPN folder. So this is, hold on, I need to pull up my Kindle again so I can look at the pattern for you. This is the bunny yoke pullover for babies and children, made by Angela Hahn. There's what the sweater will look like, and there's what the hat will look like.
How does she spell her name?
It is Hahn.
Angela or?
Oh, that's her last name.
No, I got her. I did
Angela,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And this is the 6-month size that I'm making. So it's the smallest size. The first sleeve is complete. I have it on. I know I have stitch holders somewhere, but they weren't easily accessible to me at the time.
Yeah, we still have a room in a couple different rooms.
So I grabbed 2 different needles and just use my needles to hold the stitches. These are actually old wooden nip picks.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, they're serving a purpose right now.
Yeah.
So there's one sleeve.
Why do you have 2 of them?
Because the stitches need to be held separate. They told me to.
Oh, you're still working on the sleeve.
The sleeve is done, but when
Are you putting it into the bodies at side to side?
You'll be putting it on the body. The body's most likely going to be worked from the bottom up, is my guess. And then when you start going upwards, then you'll end up knitting these, is my guess. It's been a while since I've knit a sweater this way. The last one I knit this way was my red one by Tin Can Knits. Usually, I think it's the last time I knit a sweater that way. I can't remember. Too long ago. Anyway, working on the second sleeve. This is nice, mindless knitting.
I looked, I said, why is there a cable on there? But it's just stockinette.
Yeah, it's just stockinette. And this is a nice. I don't work a lot in purple, so
It's a nice purple.
it is, and it'll be nice for some little girl, because I don't think a little boy would wear this.
No, that's not the kind of purple a boy is. I don't think boys wear much purple, but when they do, I think it's darker. You know, like a deeper, darker, colder shade. You know.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and that is that. That's got some love. This probably got the most love because it required the least attention at this point. So yeah.
Okay. I don't think this one was started last time. I talked to you guys. This is Jazzy Toddler hat. There's no pattern or designer. It's just a simple, mindless, round and round baby hat or toddler hat. I'm a little bit stuck here. You probably recognize this yarn if you've been with us for any length of time. I made my first bank head out of this, I believe. And it's just Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. Print, and the colorway is Jazz Stripe, hence the very original name of Jazzy Toddler. And this Citywood loom, given to me by Laura Concert, says it's for 3 to 18 months, and it's a 1/2 inch spacing, 41 peg. And yes, Laura, I am going to get to that other loom. Right now, I have so many things going on in my head, I can barely focus on simple stuff. So, and this one has got kind of a loose laddering going on. I'm not sure why, but I think it'll be okay.
You started that in the bookstore, didn't you?
I think so.
I feel like you did.
I think so. We went for Daddy's birthday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was last Saturday.
Yeah. And oh, and this is a Kikiboo Bags Holiday Owl bag.
Let me just go ahead and pull my thing through my stitches.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just finishing off this ear. There we go. Yay for crooked ears.
You're gonna give the poor bunny a complex. He's not even finished yet.
Well, maybe he likes having crooked ears. It's gonna be like this. It's so cute. Look at it. I mean, I'll probably straighten out if I pull it a little bit like that. I don't know. We'll see how it works.
It looks like somebody chewed off his ear.
Maybe somebody did.
That fox.
Maybe his sister took a bite out of his ear.
No. Mommy rabbits eat their babies.
No, it's going to be very interesting. I have no idea why it's doing that. I
Well.
messed up somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to tear it back or.
Well, you'll figure it out later. You don't have to think about it right now. You have to do your
I
next
probably
project.
should tear that back. Look at that. It's like at a right angle. I don't know why it's
it,
doing
looks like,
that.
it looks like it's trying to be a sock.
I have no idea what's
Look,
going on
see?
there.
A sock.
I have no idea what I did.
That's pretty funny.
So, you're going to see backwards progress.
You need to get started on the other project. right
Okay, so there's
now.
only
You
one.
can talk about backwards progress when I do my last project.
Okay, I just want to get it out of the stitches I just pulled through
Okay.
because at least I know I'll have enough for the next year with this one. I probably will just start next year and then.
And then come back to this one. It's probably a good idea.
Well, it's the same thing. What I mean is, it'll be doesn't matter which year it is.
No, I know that.
But my point is, I will start the year with what I've got here. But what I was actually going to say was, when I start the next year, I'm not going to go and focus on that year for a while. I'll start it, leave it on the needles, and not work on it until I can focus on it.
Right.
So,
In other words, you're putting it in timeout.
well, only because I don't have the mental capacity right now. Now, this I don't believe was started last time. My feet were cold, so I think it was Sunday I decided to start this. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Saturday. These are the women's bunny slippers.
I think you showed it last week.
Did
too.
I?
Yeah, because you told me about the inside and the
Oh,
outside.
okay, I guess I did. I can't remember. That was too long ago. Yeah, I think I did. And it basically looks like I'm making the size 10. Oopsie, hold on. I'm making the size 10.
Very cute.
I have to find my pom-pom maker.
I think I saw it because I put it in one of the bags because I thought, oh, this is mine. I put it on my dyeing yarn. And I was like, no, that's not mine. I have one. So I put it back.
Yeah. So, I finished this slipper itself,
Cool.
and it fits.
It stretches. Because it goes right over her sock.
Yeah. And it fits fine on a normal one.
Mm-hmm.
Like without the sock. So, on the inside it's got a full acrylic. It's Vanna's Choice, I think. And then the outside is, well, the yarn's tags are dug somewhere deep in the bag, and I don't feel like getting it.
Oh, this is Ocean Drift. This is
Yeah,
this is Encore, Plymouth Encore worsted.
Yeah. So,
I think we should get you some of that stuff to put on the bottom. So you don't
yeah.
slip.
But that's one slipper itself done. I finished one ear. Thought I started the second ear. I could have sworn I started the second ear. Hold on. Here's a hook. I did start the second ear. Hold on. Maybe? Let's see. Maybe I didn't.
No.
I guess I didn't. Okay.
Nope.
I didn't get around to
And
it.
here's the tag. Plymouth Encore color spun, knitting worsted weight
So.
in the Ocean Drift. I was correct. Used to be my yarn.
Mm-hmm. So I haven't gotten around to starting the second ear, but one ear is...
Is that going to have any a lining to it as well, or is it just going to be plain?
No, it's going to be plain because it's not like it's going to touch the foot.
Right.
Not the inside.
Well, no,
of the
I meant that just for looks.
No, you see that stitch
Right.
there? That's supposed to... They've
Very
had
cute.
some crocheting to add. So this is a bunch of crocheting stitches that I haven't used in forever. The shaping is actually quite clever because it does fit your foot very well. It doesn't, it buckles and stuff a little bit on the inside, but I think maybe the Vanna's Choice might be a bigger yarn than this
Right.
one.
And as you walk and your feet get a little hot, it might.
Yeah, flat. I'm not worried about it. It fits on the foot well.
Yep.
So.
I know some people have sensitive bottoms of the feet, but if it doesn't bother the bottom of your feet, then it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So that's so far. It's kind of just like a simple little ballet slipper style. It's not the big boot style. Just enough if you're having a little chilliness on your foot. And sides are bunny slippers. Fuzzy bunny slippers.
He looks like a deranged, what was he said, deranged
Easter bunny.
Easter bunny. Yes, that is a reference. You can tell me what it is in the thread. Okay. Now, my last project was not started. It's in my Universal Studios bag because I couldn't find a bag big enough. And I got this when I went to Florida with my husband for our 30th anniversary, I think. I don't know. Anyway. This is my Ninja Turtle baby blanket from the Ninja Turtle baby blanket pattern, because I couldn't think of a name offhand. It may change. By Lisa Vanilla. And this is what it looks like. You see that? I'm really challenged when it comes to the camera.
You're doing fine.
So,
It's hard when it's black and white like that.
yeah. And what I did was, for the placement of the colors, is I basically put it in order of what I thought the turtles' ages were.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got the green. I haven't started the colors yet. I got the green, then Leo, who is blue, green, Raph, who is red, green, Donnie, who is purple, and then green, and Mikey, who is orange.
That's how I would have put them too.
So I don't have very much on here at this point. I just wanted to have it started. I'm using a sport weight instead of a worsted in an attempt to have like a baby / toddler type of blanket. So you can see this is all my yarn is Knit Pick Brava Sport, and this is, I've got,
And that should be a good just waiting room type project.
Yeah, because until I get to the eyes, it's just straight knitting or crocheting. This is a sport weight. This one is grass, red. I think this is celestial. Let me see. Solstice heather. Celeste is a little brighter. And then the orange one is orange, and then I don't think I have the orange in here because I have the first two colors. I have orange for Mikey, and then I have eggplant, which is a purple, for Donnie, because we love our turtles. Teenage Mutant Teenage Mittens, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle variety. So that's in here. And this will most likely go to charity unless Davina decides she wants it. I think it'd be too small for Davina.
I think so too.
I think it's basically a toddler blanket, so it'll either go to the Evans house or Evans home or pregnancy center or the table.
Not so much you're doing a yarn smaller than what's suggested. It might have been big enough for her if it
Yeah, I purposely went down. I didn't want it to be a great big production. And I thought about doing it in fingering weight, and I was like, no. Okay, so that's that. All right, so that takes, do you have any more whips?
I do not.
Do you have any FOs?
I do.
How many?
Un.
I have 2.
Okay, well then you go first.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, I finished in my Turbo Knitter 64 Mickey and Minnie Mouse bag. I finished my
good job, Mom.
bobbing along baby blanket. This is probably gonna,
That's why you started the other blankets.
Yes.
I know you were waiting, yeah.
So
Oh, that's gonna be a nice baby blanket.
yes.
Are you gonna miss it? Having to work on it?
No, I don't think so.
Because the other one's just as simple.
The other one's simple, so and I've got the Cerebel going as well. So this is it. I've been having some issues with weaving in ends that I don't like it when they pop out, and keeping them flat with some of this heavier yarn is a little bit of a challenge sometimes. But I just simply edged it. I played a little yarn chicken edging this. I gave Talia the remainder of the skein because it was just one color, so you can have her color work. But I took a chance and edged it with the skein I was using, which, as you can see, stripes. And I did manage to have the edging all the same color. I was wondering if it was going to change color. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, I can always do another one of these if I want to. It's not like I don't know what the pattern is. So that's going to be heading out to Pregnancy Center, most likely.
And I just finished that other baby rabbit beanie And this is
That's the boy
the
version.
boy one. I think it was like sapphire or something or other is the colorway. So I do like much better the bunnies on the top than on the bottom because the bottom ones you can barely see. So it's not my favorite of the baby hats I made simply because I didn't do as good of a job choosing contrasting colors. But it's still going to keep some baby warm. So
And it's pretty.
yeah, and this is the extra small size with US 6s, I think, because it actually is a fingering weight pattern. So, the other one that I'm working is in the small size, so it'll be a little bigger than this one.
This one wasn't even on my hook last week. I think I finished it in one sitting or two sittings in my Kikiboo bag, puzzle pieces bag. Is the Brights hat project from the basic ribbed hat, the one I did for the turtle. So, and I changed it up a little bit. I don't know if you can see at the bottom there's a little bit of ribbing. Okay, so it'll fit maybe anywhere from a year to 3 years, I think. So, depending on how much hair they have and how big a head they have.
Right.
So it didn't take me very long at all. This is the one I tried to start at the doctor's office yesterday. You saw the yarn is the same as this. And it kept having a hole here. And I couldn't figure out why, because this one doesn't have a hole. So maybe I wasn't paying attention, or I don't know, it was grabbing the yarn funny or whatever. But this one will go also to one of the charity things. So here's the the other one I did with that same pattern. But this one is done in a slightly smaller yarn. This is a worsted, and this is a DK, I guess, or maybe it's just a slightly smaller yarn.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes you do get differences between.
yeah. I have to take pictures of all these so I can figure out where we're going to put the charity stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
Davina's been going gangbusters with her jewelry making for the table.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, I guess that leads us on to other stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Such as what?
we probably want to hit do you have anything for shop?
Yes.
Okay, do shop then.
Okay.
Because we want to do everything before health so we can say bye to people.
Yeah. I will be leaving the pre-orders up not very much longer. I will put either I will put the coupon code up, or I will just give it to the people who decided to buy. And then I'm going to start restocking the shop. There will still be some dysautonomia colorways in the shop, but I'm not going to worry too much about the pre-orders at this time. It's been up for a couple weeks, and I think the people who bought it have bought it.
Mm-hmm.
But I did want to also talk about, I mentioned earlier the housewarming colorway. And this is what it looks like. This is called Auld Lang Syne, and this will be up also around the holidays. So this is kind of at least I think it will. This is kind of a preview of it. Somebody's going to get 2 skeins of this as a housewarming for PHN. Okay, and I'll have to set up a thread. And there'll be a prompt of some kind of a question you have to answer. It's called Auld Lang Syne, and it's kind of a lavender, kind of purpley color. Okay, and this is my long sport. This is 328 yards of around 328 yards of 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. So this will be our housewarming gift. For you guys following us back, you have a chance to win this. And I'll put it up.
Really pretty, guys.
Let's see here. And this is the long sport, which means a slightly longer yardage. It's slightly thinner yarn. I would say it's between a heavy sock weight and a light sport.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a flat light sport. So that will go up in the PHN group. You have to be a member of the PHN group. That's PHN Home, is it? PHN Home Podcast. Let me see here. I have to go all the way back here because I haven't memorized it yet.
And my brain's not working.
Let's Give me a second here. Come on.
It'll be in the YouTube as well.
Okay. It is phnpodcast.freeforms.net. So if you want a chance at winning the housewarming gift, you have to be a member of the house, of the household. Okay? So phnpodcast.freeforms.net. And there are 2 of these. All right? Auld Lang Syne. Okay. Now, anything else?
That leads us on to where we say thank you to people for their comments and say if you don't want to hear health stuff.
Yes. Okay. So before we get to that point, we want to say that we're going to be getting into talking about health, a little bit of the house, and just general life stuff. So if you are not terribly interested in that, we understand.
Or if it's something that is bad for you, like you can't, like hearing that kind of stuff stresses you out,
right?
Or whatever.
We don't want you to stay here if you don't want to listen to this. Okay, we're going to be talking about Talia's health a little bit and a little bit about progress on the house. So if you don't really want to stay for this, we understand completely. That's fine. We'll see you back here later next week. But for those of you who do want to stay, before you go, we want to say thank you. And again, I have to go back. I'm sorry, I have to go back to my end of my notes here because I had to go to the beginning to check out the thread. We do want to say our thank yous to people before they leave. We want to thank Pat and Kim for commenting on YouTube, and for those people who commented on the thread. We did have some commenters there this time, so thank you for those. I think I answered everybody, I think. So thank you for doing that. Now, those of you who are wanting to leave, we'll see you later for the Fun in the Woman Cave. We're glad that you came. And now we're going to go into stuff.
Right. So it actually started last week with, last podcast. I had mentioned depression and chronic illness. Now, what I thought might have been a depressive episode actually turned out to be, and there could have been some depression involved as well, but it turned out to be one of my other warning signs of worsening symptoms, which is emotionality related to lack of blood flow to my brain. I spent all of Saturday on and off in tears. Sunday, by the end of the day, I had trouble getting out of bed.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like I was so depressed I couldn't get out of bed. I mean, I was so weak.
Physically, she could not get out of
Yeah.
bed. Okay. Those of you who have been to the PHN group, to our home, have seen the prayer request thread I put up for Talia. This is going to be explaining that a little.
Yeah. So Sunday, I was having trouble sitting up, and Mom had to help me get out of the bed so I can do something simple as use the bathroom, which was next door to me.
Yeah, her bedroom, if you look at our house, if I'm looking at you, you would be in Talia's bedroom. Okay, so you're in Talia's bedroom, and to your left is the bathroom, right there. Okay, and so it's only about 10 or 15 feet away, and she couldn't get there.
Yeah. So Monday I called out of work because...
In an effort to save spoons.
Yeah, in an effort to try to save up spoons for the next day of work. The next day of work I made it through, but by the end, coworkers... First of all, everyone was asking me why I was there. I didn't look well. And by the end of the day, I was having... The idea of carrying out my bags was too much. So I got a coworker to carry them out for me, and she drove me home. She said I looked horrible. I looked pale.
Which is when you call your mother, not...
Well, I was not in a brain space where I could think about that. It never even occurred to me.
You should actually give her my number.
I was the only things I could think about was, if Sammy's not there, I guess I'll get the cleaning guy to help me carry stuff out.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else had booked it out already. And I wasn't in a place mentally where I could think logically about calling Mom to get me.
Which she usually is able to do.
Yes. So on the Wednesday, I made it through part of the day, but I saw all my morning patients, but I was shaky and lightheaded and weak. It was mostly weakness and fatigue. So I took my paperwork home and finished working from home. It was like 11:30 onward.
So she got a day's worth of work in.
Yeah.
Just not the traditional day's worth of work.
Thursday I thought I was doing better, and I made it into work. But as soon as I got out of my car, I knew there was going to be problems. I was like, I'll try to push through. I was having trouble walking to the door. I had to sit down on the floor after I got into the main building. And I had to will myself to open up the door so I could try to make it into the actual office area. Ran into a coworker at that point. She said, "You don't look like you feel well." I said, "I don't." After a couple of minutes, I need to call out. While we were in the process of deciding all that, we got someone to cover me. By the time Mom came to pick me up, I was having trouble walking. And I required a couple of people's assistance to get from my rollator seat into the passenger side of my mom's car because I was physically incapable of doing it myself. And that was lightheadedness, fatigue, faintness. I felt like I was going to faint.
Getting her into the house was interesting. We had contractors here. We had people. It was interesting.
Yeah. Only had part of a day of Friday, and I used the wheelchair at work on Friday.
I drove her in.
And I didn't even walk around the house. I was like, I need to save whatever energy I have for work, so I used the rollator around the house. Sat in it, didn't walk in it. Walk with it. Made it through part of the day Friday, but that's because I had a specialist appointment Friday. When I saw the specialist, they are referring me to neurosurgery because they think there is a possibility that there's problems right around here, either malformation or a problem with my EDS where I'm so super mobile that the spine is not completely stable and is part of the spine is not completely stable and is causing a worsening of the symptoms, and including a headache that starts here and can shoot up through the top of my head. That gets worse with activity. So we're collecting another specialist, collecting a few more medications.
Have to have a room for all your medications and doodads. And
collecting a new piece of equipment. I have a wheelchair coming in, so that way I can attempt to make it through work days.
And let us be clear, this is not, the hope is that she will not be having to use these equipment all the time.
Yeah.
This is for when she cannot function normally at all. And she can, maybe have a chance of getting through the workday.
Or a chance of saving enough energy that I can do a couple of things.
Like go out to a birthday dinner.
Yeah. Or, go to One Fiber Festival.
Yeah, I might be there, she might not.
This is under discussion.
Yeah. Since I'm the one who's going to be driving, guess who's going to make the decision?
Can't stop me from driving.
I'll take your keys.
If you can find them.
I know exactly where your keys are.
Not if I hide them.
She keeps talking. She keeps talking.
But yeah, it's been a very interesting week. There's, because you start looking at what your potential is for continual work.
We've looked at options.
Yes. So these are fears that people look at. Talk about dysautonomia awareness. I thought I was mild. I'm not at all on the mild end of things. And not everyone ends up completely disabled. There is that potential for me. So it's been a very emotional week. and a week with with quite a few life-changing.
As we are putting her room back together, we are rearranging things so she can have more access for like her rollator and for her wheelchair when it comes in. If she needs to have it in there, they may be folded a lot of the time, but we're trying to make space. She's getting rid of stuff. We're clearing out and rearranging and things like that. Or I should say, I have her sit and tell me where to put
Yeah,
things.
because if I'm vertical and active too long, I start by feeling with the headache back here, and then the other symptoms start coming as well.
So we want to make sure I have no problem doing this stuff as long as I'm physically able. My husband does things. He's going to put a few shelves up on the wall so she can put more things out of reach. And she, like I said, this has forced all of us, and not just Taya, all of us in our family to look at how much we spend and how much we buy and what we really need. And so we're clearing out things. She's clearing out things to make room for the stuff she needs. And the stuff that she doesn't need will either go in storage or go away.
Yeah.
You know, so, and we're all doing that because of this, because it's forced us to take a look at how many unnecessary material things we have. It's, you know, it's because you're focused on what's important.
So because of that, I've been very inactive. Even though I've been home, I've been very inactive on PHN this week, because anything that requires brain power has been a little bit beyond me. I basically try to use all my brain power for work, and then such that I've been at work. And then when I'm not at work, I've been trying to go into pure relaxation mode with an attempt to work the next day. And everything that I'm doing for this weekend is aimed toward, let's make it so I can work on Monday.
Well, that's one of the reasons. See, she has to do that, and then I have a goal that I have to do, which it stresses her out a little bit, but it has to be done, is getting, we have everything out of the hallway now. I have to get everything out of that back room where I do my yarn dyeing and my exercising and all that, because we have a great big sliding door. I think at one time it was a sunroom / deck, so we have a sliding door that would have gone outside. And we like to open that curtain, and my husband doesn't like seeing, obviously, all the boxes and all that kind of stuff. He's asked us to get rid of that. He doesn't feel comfortable going through Taya's stuff. I can understand that. So I have to take it into her room, and she has to tell me, no, Mom, that goes. Mom, that stays. Down the basement, up, down, whatever. So that's going to be a little bit, she has to do that, even though she has to relax, because I have to do this to get it cleared. So minimizing things that tax her while still getting things done. It's kind of a tightrope, but I think if we can get through the end of the month with that, it'll be done.
And and the wheelchair's supposed to come in on Sunday. And for a little while, it might be wheelchair at work, and then see how I'm doing from there, and then slowly graduate back to the walker at work.
And she has another specialist appointment on the 30th. So we're hoping,
and that's not even counting the
neurosurgeon.
who I have to call on Monday.
Right. And you have to be careful of the dates. Okay?
Yeah, I know.
Because that's something Daddy's going to have to do.
Yeah.
My husband has been relegated. He's been really good. He's been taking a lot of time. We're running around his schedule because Taya is no longer able to drive as much, and I don't do a lot of distance work.
And these specialists, there's only 3 that she recommends, because I apparently like to collect rare and unusual diseases.
Zebras.
Not diseases, conditions.
You like zebras.
I like zebras. Zebras are cute. And
Not when they're like this, they're not.
Not all neurosurgeons apparently know how to test appropriately for the 2 conditions they're testing for, which apparently can exist together too.
Yes, I know. I was thinking about that. I didn't know for sure, but I was wondering about that.
But one of the girls in my POTS group has both, because I was asking them for some hacks of how to manage the symptoms until I see someone. But there's only a few people, there's only some, not all neurosurgeons know how to test for it properly, so she recommended specific ones. There's only 3 of them that she recommended.
Yeah. One's in New York, One's in D.C. and one's in Maryland. We'll probably try for the one in Maryland because the one in I'm not going to New York. I'm not driving to New York. I will do it if I have to, but Daddy will probably end up doing it.
And if since there's closer ones,
Maryland and D.C. are both closer for us.
yeah.
And Maryland would be our ideal. My thought is they might even be at Walter Reed or something. You know.
But yeah, we're gonna stick with the ones that she suggests. Yes, there's other, well-known places you can go to, but if your specialist suggests 3 doctors, you gotta stick with those.
Especially
3.
a specialist as well respected and in this area as your doctors are.
Yeah.
So
I've already had enough. I've already heard before. There's nothing more we can do for you.
from them,
Not from this group, but I've heard from other people.
yeah.
So it's, I need to go where they tell me to go so I don't hear it from someone else that we don't know what we can. And there might be a point that they don't know.
There might be, and there might be a point where she has, and then we'll work from it. I do want to thank the people who are already praying and sending good wishes. Sue, I got your PM. Yes, that is a private message. Yes, I will be contacting you most likely sometime.
And I am mostly okay, guys.
We're not trying to scare you. Okay, we're trying to keep you abreast of what's going on because
I'm not a complete mess over here emotionally, or I think that was, there's going to be a mourning period, and that's something else that we need to touch on with chronic illness. Is 2 of the things that come up is you feel guilty for what you can't do, especially if you have something that comes in flares. You feel guilty for taking rest when maybe you could push it a bit more, but then you're not sure if it's gonna send you into a flare. But what if you're just you go through this whole crazy cycle of thoughts, like a hamster in a wheel, because you want to do the most you can, but don't want to push it too much, and it's hard to make that judgment call. When to make the judgment call to use assistive equipment, and when you can just use a less. You can push it a little more and use a different assistive equipment or no assistive equipment. It's, and these are decisions that only you can make. No one can make for you.
And she's kind of said right now, it seems that what she's kind of decided to do was the assistive equipment, especially the wheelchair, at work, and less so here on the weekends. But at home, even during the week, she's using the rollator backwards, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to save what I can for work so I can keep a job and an income, because it's expensive being sick. But there's the guilt that comes with it when you have something that's not consistent throughout. And then there is the mourning of what you used to be, and what you are losing and potentially will continue to lose. So, yeah. It's just a whole process. And what am I? Oh, I'm playing with my bunny.
There's a lot of independence issues. The nearest I can, from what I understand, not being at that point myself yet, is it's kind of like when you get older and you have to give up driving, or you have to give up, this or that or the other thing because you can't do it anymore.
Just imagine that 50, 60 years earlier than the average person who has to do that.
Yeah.
So, especially if you don't look sick.
You look pretty bad sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is something that's been unusual in our family. Both the girls for a long time with their conditions didn't look, and you had to, what's wrong with them type of thing, because some people are rude that way. Most people are really kind, but some people can be very rude.
Right.
So
yeah, it's just I guess another thing is just, it makes you check in your thought processes about someone who doesn't hurry for some reason, or whatever.
Or if they're using a handicap spot and they don't seem to have anything wrong with them.
Yeah.
You stop that uncharitable why are they doing that? Because maybe they have something that's not visible,
Right.
you know.
So yeah, that's all for that soapbox.
The other thing I want to say is that it makes you really, on either side, as the caregiver or as the person involved with whatever it is, it makes you try to think, you really think about what is the most important.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I would get stressed out about stupid things, you know, this person did that or they didn't, you know, whatever. Why did this person get these kind of, you know, acknowledgments and why I didn't, or whatever. Why is this person so well liked and, you know, my stuff doesn't take off or whatever. I don't know what to use as an example because I've been pretty blessed. But you realize that all that isn't important. It's not what really matters. And you also, it focuses your fact that, you know, this is just a journey.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been good in that way.
Mm-hmm.
We like to keep a positive spin on things.
Oh, it's been great for Davina.
Davina, her medicine has helped a lot. Much as I hate to say it, I was speaking to my parents the other day when all this stuff came through and I needed to talk to somebody. I said, they were asking how Davina was handling it. And much as I hate to say, have Ty be suffering this way, it has been a blessing for Davina.
It really has.
It really has. She gets to be the one who does things. She runs errands. She goes downstairs and does this. She goes upstairs and does that. She runs around. She does this. As long as she knows it's because Taya can't do it. I mean, if I try to ask her something normal, like, you know, did you have your milk or something, I'm liable to get some backlash. But if it has something to do with, you know, Taya can't do it, or if I'm tired out from doing it, Davina will do it. And as much as she is able. And she wants to do that, and it makes her happy because, in fact, my husband said if she had not been disabled herself, she might have been a good nurse.
Because she has the desire to help and the heart. She's a huge heart.
She has an absolutely huge heart. She has been so much easier to deal with since the medicine has helped her. Because she's always had a huge heart, but she's always had this edge to her because she was unable to deal with what was going on. She still has a little bit because she still has a disability.
Right.
But the medicines have helped, and then this bringing her out of herself has helped as well. So she is making some progress there, and it's been good for her.
It has. It's been really good for her.
Yeah, she wants to take over my cooking duties. So we end on a happy note. Let me tell you this: we went to the store. We went to what I call the commissary. Went to Martin's, and we were shopping. And I'm looking in her cart because we split up. It's one of the few places because everybody knows her. My husband's like, "Why do we stay here? Sometimes they don't have." I said, "These people know Davina. We've been going there for 10 years. They know her, and they know to look for her if she gets lost." So we can
It's
separate.
been longer than 10 years.
I think so. About 15. So because we went to the local Food Lion for the first 5, and then they closed. But anyway, we split up, and she has her phone on. I have my phone on. So we come back together. I'm looking at her cart because she had it part of the list. She gets the cold stuff and all this kind of stuff, and her own stuff. I said, "Davina, what's that?" "It's Hamburger Helper." I said, "We don't use Hamburger Helper." "Well, I want to cook stroganoff." I said, "Okay, but not with Hamburger Helper, and I also don't have any meat thawing." She looks at me and said, "Mom, there's meat in the box." I said, "No, there's." I said, "Look, on the pack, there's meat." You know how it shows on the Hamburger Helper box, there's meat. You know. I said, "No, sweetheart, there's no meat in the box." She says, "Oh," but it was the cutest thing. She wanted to surprise us and make beef stroganoff. She hadn't had stroganoff in a while, and I had to look into making it.
Yeah.
And she wanted to make it, and
Well, she's flexing her independence a little bit
she
more.
is. She makes for me and for my husband. She makes hot dogs for Mother's Day and Father's Day. Hey, okay, that's fine. It's
We
perfect.
all like hot dogs. It works.
We all like hot dogs. It works. So she makes, her dessert is a pudding pie. You know, you have the graham
It's actually
cracker
really
crust.
good.
It is excellent. It's very sweet.
Not as sweet as that chocolate chip pie you make. It's so sweet, it's disgusting.
the Death by Chocolate.
The chocolate
No,
chip pie.
I know, but remember the Death by
But
Chocolate?
that's actually good. The other thing's disgusting.
Oh no, it's very good.
I just like it
Well,
terribly.
that's you. There's something wrong with you. But
We
anyway,
know this. There's multiple diagnoses.
she puts the graham cracker crust and she does the instant pudding. I'm going to teach her how to make icebox cake,
Oh, good.
so she can have just put the. I don't know how many of you are familiar with icebox cake. You know, the graham cracker layer and then the chocolate pudding and another graham cracker layer and the vanilla pudding. I forget how many layers. It's been years since I've done it. But anyway, so I want you to end on a happy note, not on a depressing note. We do intend to podcast next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
If we can. I don't see any impediment toward that, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to, without further ado, wish you a very wonderful week full of crafting, of fun, whatever makes you happy. And we hope to see you next week for the fun in the Woman Cave. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 367, and that's a wrap.
Bye.